Yachty is top 5. What am I thinking? Yachty is top 5 of all time. And I'm going to say that because when he first came in, everybody doubted him, saying he wasn't going to be here long. But the man has found a way to be relevant for the last 10 years in a row. You can never question that. I just had to say that.
My brother know the super false selves, never close, punch, stay stressed. Now I'm geek, so it's fuck a hoe. I can't even count, can't stay stressed. Woo, 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 woo. Had to take a minute, was a close call.
Something we're seeing more than ever, not just in the rap scene, but in music entirely, are rebrands. Whether it be changing your style and look for one album or changing your identity forever, this topic has always seen mixed approval. Sometimes it works out, other times it works out, but you become Machine Gun Kelly. That's a fate worse than death. But today's subject I don't see brought up regularly in this topic, which is strange because he may be one of the biggest examples of it and one of the better ones on top of that. Lil Yachty has been around for 10 years now, and a short decade it has been. His image has already taken several forms, and each time he's found a way to stick around, being a name that has
Started a whole group, start getting their names out too, bro.
Lasted way longer than anyone would have ever guessed he would. Today we're going to dive into his career and discover how he was able to escape being a one-hit wonder and became a prominent figure in the genre.
How old is he? I don't even think he passed. I don't even think he passed 30, unless I'm tripping. He 28. Bruh. Don't play with this nigga. Don't play with him. Actor too, like, bro. Come on, bro. Come on, bro. Come on, bro. He's still here. Singles. Son, bro, Cole, son, bro, get, bro, strike, bro. Stop playing with him. Stop playing with him. Solo step, Minnesota, bro. Come on, bro. And you at least know at least 5 of these songs right here. Just looking here. You can't say you don't, bro. You're lying if you say that.
Lil Yachty would see a meteoric rise in the year of our Lord 2016. A pioneer during the now iconic SoundCloud era, Yachty went from a small name to a regularly discussed artist basically over the course of that summer. His signature red braids and beads had turned him into an unmissable part of hip-hop. Where's Waldo had become Where's Yachty. He's there, and just casually had one of the biggest songs that year, No Biggie. In addition to his general presence, Yachty was also consistent in dropping projects during his rise to fame, with Little Boat and Summer Songs 2. The momentum he had going into 2017 was massive. There was of course criticism from the more traditional side of the rap community at the time. The SoundCloud generation was getting a lot of heat from old heads back then, Uzi's interrogation on Hot 97 being the best example of it. Yachty had his own version of that on Everyday Struggle, featuring another bitter old head, Joe Budden, and Human Chipmunk Academics. All these guys get paid to do nothing, by the way. Like, imagine for a second, ignore the quality of these artists or whatever you might think of them. Imagine if, like, I had corporate funding and extreme bias. That is all any of these shows and podcasts will ever be. Just dudes.
They just sit there and just talk shit like the whole time, bro. And they get paid for it. Talk about any and everything. Like,
yelling for attention. But back to Yachty. All he really had to do to prove himself following 2016 was deliver on his debut album. And that's really where we start to zero in on things. In 2017, Lil Yachty's debut album Teenage Emotions would drop some mixed reviews and lackluster performance, which isn't something that's super uncommon. Every rapper eventually drops a bad project, and sometimes rappers even debut with a bad project. But again, with the pressure Yachty had on him, was a major problem, because it would only vindicate this loud group of critics. Following this, Yachty would find himself in a bit of a rut. As fast as the SoundCloud wave rose in 2016, 2017 would quickly usher in the fall off of many of that era's biggest names. And as crazy as it sounds now, Yachty could have easily been one of them. The response to Teenage Emotions being so negative forced him to pivot his career, with him beginning to move away from his original sound and becoming a more serious rapper. 2018 brought us Little Boat 2 and Nothing to Prove, projects that performed okay, but again, bombed critically. Even with the change in sound, Yachty's music was still torn to shreds by a large chunk of the music community, even beginning to divide his own fan base. These albums did have some fans. I don't want to present anything inaccurately. People still liked Yachty in 2018, but it's almost like they were more just fans of him as a person than fans of his music.
Yeah, like his personality was entertaining too. So like when you would see him around, you would stop and like watch what he had to say. But the music side, it's like you were still getting adjusted. You're still getting adjusted to his new sound. So it kind of took you a while before you kind of got on the same wavelength. To like, okay, it's new, but I like this too. My button that.
After essentially taking 2019 off, 2020 would be Yachty's re-attempt at a comeback with Little Boat 3. This is an odd album to go back to. For its time, I think it really shows how Yachty was able to adapt his music, but it kinda embraced a lot of bad practices as well. It's not a bad album, but it's bloated to the point where it starts dragging itself down. With the deluxe tracks, this is an hour and a half. No. And the features too are pretty whatever. I'll give him a slight pass since a lot of mainstream albums are just like this.
I think you realize that now. That's why I think now he really should be putting out singles. So if he's ever gonna do like a project or something, you know, lengthy, he's gonna do it with Concrete, so that everybody is still fresh and like everybody else is also getting on it too. So I ain't gonna lie, he a smart businessman when it comes to the music, like the promoting wise. He's smart with that.
Now, but for Yachty particularly, that all kind of made this album feel a bit generic, which helped it appeal to some people, but at the same time, generic music was like the only thing Yachty's music up to this point wasn't. So yet again, this album came and went. I don't hate it, but there are still yet to be a...
And you got a feature with Future. Like, if Future mess with you, nobody can really tell you anything. Because even him too, it took him a while for him to also get up there. So like, it's really all about the process, bro. You gotta bide your time and then just go once you get that chance.
Yachty project that left as big of an impact that his early stuff did. 2020 would kind of open a new era entirely as it went on. Along with dropping Little Boat 3 that year, he would also start a rap collective with Concrete Boys, something that would develop a bit more over the years.
One of the best things he ever did, bro. Some of the dudes he picked up, bro, ain't gonna lie, some of the best dudes you ever heard in your life.
He would start posting more on TikTok. This would also be a pretty big booster to his image, with good and bad results. Yachty had always been a very relevant artist online. It's where his career started, of course, but now his TikTok could basically keep him almost in this permanent spotlight. Yachty would just post a video of something he has or an innocuous activity, and bam, he's got millions of views. It's probably getting reposted on Twitter pages. It is a good strategy to keep your name out there. And since Yachty...
Like, nowadays, it's like how rappers are trying to be streamers now. Like, people mess with you more if they can find that relatability to you. So like, they used to see Yachty as like this just celebrity music dude, but then you see him on TikTok, man, showing off what he eating. I think he a big pizza guy, if I'm not mistaken. And then like the Oreos, you just see like he started entertaining and putting out music at the same time. So then it started all intertwining. And now you love Yachty for his music and him as a person. So I think that was very smart on his end too.
He was at that time one of few rappers to have a more direct connection to his fan base. It worked really well.
Yeah.
The issue it had was it was starting to overshadow his music. Attention was definitely still around for it, probably more so than if he wasn't doing a lot of online stuff. But just from personal experience, I remember Lil Yachty on Aiden Ross way more than I
This was a W stream, bro. Did I watch this live? That's when I was really tapped in with Aiden Ross when he first came out. What was it, 2021? Still COVID, yeah. This era was peak. Damn, bro. If only we could go back. This era was peak.
remembered the release of Michigan Boy Boat in 2021. This mixtape was kind of like a pivotal moment, I feel. Not only did a lot of people enjoy it, but Yachty was the most relevant he had been since like 2018, and it still sold 16K. No matter what he did, Yachty was not breaking into the mainstream. He needed to find a way to blend his identity as a personality online with his music, and we finally saw that happen in 2022. 2022 kicked off with the announcement of Yachty's next album. The first word he gave on it was that it wouldn't be a rap album, and for most of the year, he was out of the spotlight working on it, until October when a snippet of the song Poland leaked onto TikTok and Twitter. The leak quickly became a meme on those sites and launched demand for the full song, which had caught Yachty off guard as it had been scrapped up to that point. A bit later, he would drop the song, boosting its popularity, which would conveniently lead into the rollout for his next album. Let's Start Here would drop in January of 2023 to critical acclaim and success. Something new, finally. This album served almost like a reset for Yachty's musical career. With the genre change, he brought back a lot of his prior listeners through curiosity, as well as an entire set of people who would have never sought out his music. It's one of those projects where a lot of the wow factor of it is the fact that it was made by someone who started out making music that was so much more different than it. The best album to compare it with would probably be Igor for that reason. Both Tyler and Yachty began their careers on different paths and made these projects exploring parts of different genres while also keeping a lot of their characteristics in it, making for two really distinct, special albums. Let's Start Here in particular, I was always a fan of for having such...
I think Tyler is the more wild version of Lil Yachty. It's like they could almost be brothers on some shit. I don't think that's a crazy take. But y'all see what I'm trying to say though.
Such a strong cohesiveness. This album really did transitions better than a lot of albums I've ever heard. But anyways, following the release of this album, Yachty had a lot more eyes on him than before, and for the rest of the year, we would see him gain a lot of new clout in the rap scene. Following the album, he returned to rap and went on a single run with Strike Holster, Slide.
Bruh, 2023, Mans came out banging, bruh. Strike, Tesla, Solo Steppin', bro, Slide, oh.
Tesla, and The Secret Recipe.
Secret Recipe, I forgot. Yo, Mans was cooking up all year, kid, bro.
Well received. Concrete Boys would also debut with their On the Radar freestyle, and Yachty closed out the year with a pretty notable feature on For All the Dogs. His friendship with Drake around this time, I think,
nah, he snapped that year. Damn, 2023, he snapped.
Shows how important Let's Start Here was for his career. With Lil Boat 3 and everything before it, yes, Yachty got features. Yes, he was friends with a lot of big rappers. None of that wasn't particularly new or anything, but post Let's Start Here, his voice and influence in rap had grown drastically, which started leading him into some problems. 2024 would be a year filled with a lot of unnecessary, avoidable drama, all kinda involving Yachty saying too much about something or too little and not clearing things up. The most notable drama he was in around that time would be this weird unofficial beef with Lil Uzi. This is a full video topic in itself, which there are videos on that I recommend, but the short, concise version of it is, Yachty had a song leak where he dissed Uzi, he denied it, Uzi may have dissed him on A Turtle It Take Two, and since Yachty was close with Drake, there was the theory that Yachty personally stopped a Drake and Uzi song from coming out. There's also a Playboi Carti side beef in all of this. Yachty has gone on several occasions since to deny this.
Wait, how would he stop two other people from making music? Unless I wasn't listening properly, but like, you your own man, right? I don't know.
And say that both Nothing Happened and At the Gates Not Dropping had absolutely nothing to do with him, but I don't know, it's kind of hard to completely believe that all of this is a coincidence. Something had to be going on at some point, but anyway, Wrong Car is hilarious. Moving back onto the music for a moment, 2024 was a big year that kind of got overshadowed for him. He had some singles that did well, but his main projects that year were the Concrete Boys debut album and Bad Cameo with James.
This was tough. Volume 1 was tough, bro.
James Blake. The Concrete album, all things considered, did alright. Some people criticized it for feeling generic, but it mostly got a positive response, while Bad Cameo kind of flew under the radar. Following Let's Start Here, you'd think another non-rap album would get equal to more attention than that did, but it didn't, and I can kind of see why. James Blake and Yachty, it's a combination that can work, and it does a lot of times on this album, but it's not something that worked for a full album. The two don't really mesh all that well. Individually, they do alright on this album. The problem is just that Yachty on this production doesn't fit, in my opinion. But still, the lack of attention it got did confuse me. Anyway, more drama. On the same day, Yachty came under fire for snapping at his friend in the middle of a podcast, and Caribou, former member of the Concrete Boys, alleging that her departure from the group earlier in the year was her getting kicked out by Yachty and that the group was very toxic to her. That night, Yachty goes on IG Live and goes scorched earth on both of them. He says that he's ending the podcast, Vine boom for that. On the much more important Caribou topic, he said that not only did
that podcast he had with I don't know the dude's name, but same place. I ain't gonna lie, that was a tough what's it called? What's that saying? Yeah, same place. It was good. It was a good podcast. When it started, I was confused. I'm like, what happened? But yeah.
he write everything for her, but she was the one bullying people and being verbally abusive. They would keep a back and forth going for months after this, pretty much closing 2024 on a bad note. Yes, all of this was 2024. I feel like I just covered a war. Let's move on to 2025, leading up to 2026, and where Yachty's career is now compared to when it started. Alright, so 2025 is pretty easy to go over. Yachty didn't really do much. He only really dropped singles that year, and also did an EP with Blackboy Max. What?
Tough. Go. If you haven't heard that song, go listen to it. That song is tough, kid.
He was teasing the second Concrete Boys album a bit, but it didn't come out that year. This was also when he would try to squash a lot of what happened in 2024. He cleared up the Uzi thing, made up with Caribou, trying to close any of those stories before making a more proper return. Opening up 2026, we did get the second Concrete Boys mixtape, in spite of everything that happened,
Tough.
and it was again
Actually, no, I haven't listened to the full thing.
Yachty hasn't done
what's the song? The Crete Cypher intro. Kid, that song, oh my god.
true
Start. That's tough.
solo projects since Let's Start Here, so I think a lot of people are kind of wanting to see him reestablish himself alone. But the thing that Yachty has always been good about is being a very open collaborator. He will make music with almost anyone, and even though that can kind of clog up your discography and lead to bad songs inevitably, it does always kind of keep him relevant. And like I said earlier, Yachty can easily be relevant outside of his music. Now I think through everything he's done, he's really earned the respect of the broader rap community. Unless you were really mad at him about the beef, or you're still mad about 2016, go to a retirement home, dog. Yachty in current year is someone whose opinion is generally heard and respected. He has a loyal fan base and a good amount of support behind him, and he's even made up with Joe Budden, the face of his early detractor audience. He's come a long way and has more than proven himself as an artist.
Tough. Y'all goes. Wait, is that done?
That's it for this one. If you
Oh yeah, that was a good video. I'm telling y'all, bro. Yachty one of them ones, kid. I would never take Yachty disrespect lightly, bro. Cause man is tough. I don't care what nobody say. But yeah, that's a good video.
Had to take a minute, was a close call. I don't fuck the flight attendant, heading overseas, I don't switch the coast on. I was under the impression that you weren't impressed, I don't mean the boss now. I got cash on top bound, pop the bands as a